Hey everyone, Kevin here, and welcome back to my channel. So, something I realized a little while ago is that we used to view homeschooling as, frankly, kind of a joke. It was seen as this substandard way of achieving an education, and often kids wound up with very poor social skills after homeschooling and struggled to even obtain GEDs at the end of it. Heck, the added problem is that most parents ran into a wall by middle school and couldn't effectively teach their kids anymore, so they just dropped them in the public school system, a system they were entirely unprepared for, by the way. I actually had one of these students in my literal first period of observations before I even began student teaching, and yes, that was a middle schooler too. He was completely overwhelmed by the stimuli and desperately tried to fit in, but failed to do so. I was the only one that could get through to him because we both happened to like the same anime, believe it or not, and we would talk about that between lessons. But I felt sorry for him, and it made me view homeschooling through a really bad lens at that very early point in my teaching career. But is it fair to do that anymore? Is homeschooling still something we should view with disdain as a poorer version of the education you get in the public schools? And the answer is no. Actually, you know what? It's absolutely a no. If anything, I'd argue it has the potential to be far superior to anything the public schools can offer now, and that is coming from a former K through 12 teacher. In fact, it's coming from a lot of teachers too, not just the ones who've quit in the last several years. Frankly, homeschooling might even be the better option for a lot of people these days, as long as having a stay-at-home parent is, financially feasible for the family, of course. And the reasons are actually numerous to the point that I felt it deserved its own video on the topic, because confidence in the public school system has greatly waned in the last decade, and for fair and unfair reasons, but the fair reasons are the ones I really want to cover here. For one, your kids are far less likely to be bullied, harassed, or exposed to violence on a daily basis at home. I think we've all seen the headlines, videos, and whatever at this point of students attacking other kids and teachers too. Heck, when I'm recording this, the lawsuit by Abigail Zwerner about how her administrators failed to protect her or to heed the warnings that one of her 6-year-old students had brought a gun onto campus is going through its motions right now. She was lucky enough to survive that bullet, but many kids and staff alike haven't been so lucky. The school shooting epidemic itself has become normalized at this point, and schools simply aren't the safe spaces they once were. My last year, I had 2 fires set in my class, a student who was bullied to the point of flipping a table in my room at his bully, and I witnessed multiple instances of kids getting beat up. One so bad that he ended up with a concussion and blood all over our classroom wall. Not to mention all the hair pulling, kids being thrown in trash cans, and that entire stupid, devious witch trend to boot, where kids thought it'd be hysterical to destroy school property and render bathrooms unusable until they were repaired because TikTok told them to. This is an international problem, too, by the way. I know teachers in Australia who are seeing their campuses close early due to fights and the like as well. We've become very soft and unwilling to enforce discipline, haven't we? So yeah, after knowing all that, I'd probably gonna keep my kids home and away from such an environment if I was a parent today. Add on top of that, how kids won't be as stressed when they're home and can learn at a much less regimented and disconnected pace as they would when it comes to the arbitrarily created academic calendar, which emphasizes info dumps and turning them into Renaissance people in very short time spans, rather than giving kids the time to grow and critically think like we used to, which, as an added benefit, will allow them to get more personalized or individualized instruction tailored to their needs. I can tell you from experience, any credentialing program out there will drill the idea into new teachers that they have to do this for every kid, yet fully know that it is a load of BS because no educator will ever have the time to do that. It's theory, not reality, just as most things in education are right now. At home, kids can actually get information at their own pace, ask questions, be heard by their parent or guardian, and learn more practical things every day rather than, I don't know, the Pythagorean theorem that they'll probably never once use in real life. And yeah, I said it, and I'm not taking it back. But when put together, though, homeschooling gives kids more flexibility to learn things they're interested in, and like I said, things they will definitely use in the future. I've said so many times that our public school system teaches kids way too much surface level material rather than actually giving kids avenues to grow into topics they want to learn more about. Sure, they're always going to have to learn some things they may not want to, but by and large, we're not giving them the opportunities to do more now. I mean, look at Finland, which is hailed as the best educational system in the world. Sure, it's not perfect, and not everything would transfer over to the United States or elsewhere, but they trust teachers to do their jobs, pay them well, don't force kids to take meaningless standardized tests, and let them explore careers they are interested in through targeted vocational training. It really isn't hard to do, but we'd rather cling fiercely to a system that doesn't work rather than admit it's broken and actually create a new one that meets everyone's needs. And right now, homeschooling may be the only real option to ensure those needs are met. As long as parents actively do their best to also give their children the social skills they need and time outside of the home, then I'm all for it now after seeing how bad the public schools have gotten and continue to get by the day. There are so many great resources for parents to take advantage of now, too. Teachers who you can ask for guidance on coursework, sports teams made exclusively for homeschooled kids, or even co ops and tutorials on how to run effective homeschooling programs. Again, many of them being created by teachers who now believe in it instead of sending kids to public schools. And nothing will make you more certain of that than being a teacher oneself and seeing just how weak the system's become. All of these resources didn't exist even 10 years ago, and that's why I saw so many kids dumped back into the public schools after their parents didn't know what else to do since they didn't have access to such things. But homeschool programs have matured a great deal since then and are actually adaptable things, unlike the rigidity of the public schools, who are simply unwilling to make meaningful changes since it benefits those in power to keep things the way they are. But that doesn't benefit your child, though, does it? Keep that in mind. Well, guys, thanks for listening. If you aren't subscribed yet, please do so. My channel has been slowly growing over the years, and every new subscriber helps get these messages out to a wider audience. Believe me, every one of you and every like is greatly appreciated. But for now, I've been Kevin, and I will see you in the next video.